Mm, Trying to get this live working. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Where are we? Oh, it's the first one. Oh, shoot. This thing came on quick. I'm going to wait. Because I know y'all saw my post, so I'm going to wait. While I eat my beaten apple salad with raisins, golden raisins. Peace, peace, peace. I'm going to wait. I mean, my lunch, trying to get my energy. I've been having some real serious, energetic conversations lately about light and dark. And I need to put some light food back in my body, so I'm eating my beets, my apples, and some golden raisins. So you don't have to bear with me while I smash and talk at the same time. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? Love, love, peace, peace, peace. I'm eating. I don't know if you saw my post, but I came on here to talk about light and dark beings. First of all, let me affirm by saying I am the darkness that is light and the stillness that is dancing. That's my galactical affirmation to the universe. It is something that I have had to repeat daily, constantly, all throughout my day to affirm the duality of who I am. It's been real clear to me lately. Something that I have not realized and not fully functioning in myself, and I am giving myself apologies and apologies to anyone else that needs support in being a dark being and being a light being in this world. And how we can really talk about that. So I'm realizing that it's a lot of dark beings out here functioning and calling themselves light beings, and sometimes by no conscious reality to their own, because it's hard to be in this world functioning as a dark being and being accepted as a dark being. So what I mean by that, just simply like, if you think on a scale of polarity, there's feminine and masculine. Peace. There's feminine and masculine, right? There's negative and positive, right? So of course it's going to be dark and light, and we are coming in an awakening period to where people are awakening. They're awakening through the dark into the light, and there's a lot of healers out there functioning as light beings, and they're not light beings. I am one of these beings in which I can be a balance. I'm a light being that can function in the darkness. And I have that balance. But there's a lot of beings out here that are not owning up and accepting their darkness. And what that does is it's dangerous. It causes a lot of just a lot of disruption in relationships, a lot of disruption in functioning, and especially in the healing process of who we are. Like when you recognize that you are a healer, you are not just healing yourself, but you are actually healing to hold back and hold the hands of others that are arising up out of their awakening. So when you're not recognizing that you are yourself a dark being, and what that means, then that is very dangerous for somebody that's awakening out of this process and wanting that light, and that they're grabbing onto the darkness and they're not understanding what they're processing in. So it's just recognizing that, and it's okay. Like what this means is like it's powerful. It's powerful when I see somebody, and I have sisters and brothers that are functioning in their darkness, and they're bringing the power of darkness into this world. And through understanding that darkness does not necessarily mean that you are doing things that are harmful to other people. Darkness is understanding that there is a dark reality, especially culturally to our existence, coming from a state of oppression, coming from the PTSD of slavery, coming from all of the things, the trauma in which we have been through. We are rising. The ancestors are rising through our flesh, through our blood, through our DNA, through who we are, through this darkness. And some of us just need to recognize that, right? So when we, I see a lot of us talking about mental health, and I'm so grateful that it's been a platform through my educational experience, through also my personal history and my family history of understanding the importance of mental health. But when we talk about mental health, we need to bring it out of the context of the Eurocentric understanding. And I know I'm talking fast, and I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down, and I'm going to eat. My apples and my beets, or my golden raisins. So you see a lot of celebrities talking about their struggles with mental health lately, like it's an issue that doesn't affect everyone. And when I mean everyone, I mean everyone, in the sense of where we all know somebody, when it's our family, our friends, our community that struggles with some aspect of mental illness or mental health issues, behavioral health issues, because it usually ends up coming out in their behavior patterns, like overindulgence in sex and food, making poor life decisions over and over again. It's mental health concerns. What we don't understand, what we haven't come to understand because we've been trying to understand it in a Eurocentric mindset, is that we have missed a very key point in our rites of passage. Culturally, in ancient times, when our villages were together, there was a ritual. There were rituals in which the communities would come together and the priests would come together. Those priests at that time recognized themselves as being portals of light and darkness. We don't have priestesses and priestesses that recognize themselves as that. Some of them do, some of them don't. But they recognize themselves as portals for that, because they have to function in that polarity in order to understand when new beings come into this world, when babies come into this world, that some of us are coming through the darkness as darkness, and some of us are coming through light. So this is even like saying in like vampire movies and all these vampire shows and movies and all these werewolf shows and movies, that is the so-called quote-unquote struggle with the light and darkness. And you'll see like some of those rituals in which, like, they'll have their moon circles, and they'll have the little babies that are coming out, and they like, oh, they're struggling with darkness, but that community rallies around them to help to see those symptoms and those triggers of when they'll start to be triggered by that darkness, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Right. And a lot of us, I can always tell a dark being by the traumas that they have faced in their life, because they chose this experience in darkness. So they have a lot of trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after drama after drama after drama. Like, those are the dark beings. Light beings are usually floating, happy, life is good. They're drawn to the darkness because it's interesting. It's interesting. We all like a little chaos. This salad is banging. So, when you are a dark being and you haven't accepted you are a dark being, and you're functioning in light, you're misleading. You're misleading yourself. You're misleading other people. You engage in every type of relationship under this context of love. Oh, I'm light. Oh, I'm love. And not being true to yourself. And how can we support these dark beings? It's to help them recognize that. There are so many tools. Like, I have many, 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 many tools. I have many, many, many tools. Yeah, it's good to have. I gotta have the connection. Talking about the beets and the salads and the connection with the earth. So I had to come outside for my lunch so I can continue this energy. But there are so many tools. Let me tell a little bit. Like, I ain't gonna tell too much because I do this on my platform. I talk about my story. Um, but talk about how if you're a person functioning in depression, there are many tools that you can use in order to function in this world. Um, and I'm doing online sessions and online stuff so you can be able to tap into some of those things. But when you're a dark being, you have to be able to move that message because there are other dark beings that need to be able to function humanely in this society, um, in love, because we are all love. But when you're a dark being, it's hard to understand how to function in that love and light and not hurt other people in the same. So you need to find those tools and being the support of those. So when you recognize a dark being, stop trying to change them for one, because it ain't gonna happen. It's just gonna make it more frustrating for them, and it's even more so dangerous and volatile. It's like trying to hold a grenade and change it into a flower. It just ain't gonna happen. You know, it's going to be a flower bomb, like blowing up in your face, all pretty and everything. But you know, it is what it is. Dark beings are dark beings, and it's a beautiful, beautiful. When you see a dark being that are functioning in their full capacity of darkness and power and love, it's beautiful because they are here to bring medicine to this earth. To this earth, that light beings function. They have a different medicine. That's all it is. Um, so we support. So rally around them. Figure out how you can support them. You know, through living through that and moving through that darkness. Give them tools to be able to come up and out of it. For me, I don't come up out a lot, and there's a reason. I have a heavy message, and and I get my message in the darkness, and I come out and give it to the world. So while I'm in that, so coming out of that though is the hardest part. So coming in between worlds is the hardest part. Is being able to function and in different realities is the most difficult part. But when you have a support system, which is one of the reasons why I live collectively, when you have a support system that gathers around you and understands that duality and understands who you are and sees who you are, it's a much more powerful, empowering place to be than to be someone who is struggling with mental illness. That's a whole nother concept. Struggling with mental illness or struggling with this darkness, that's the truth of what it is. And then not having support around them to help them, to empower them, to bring that message and that medicine into the world. I'm gonna eat some of my salad. Eating light foods is one of my things. It should be one of everybody's things. Light foods keep me in the body, keep me healthy, give me the energy I need, and I give thanks. And I'm gonna drink my water. But it's the message. Like everyone's coming out, and it's beautiful to see people coming out and awakening. Or for some see people still fumbling around and not really knowing who they are or feeling accepted where they are. Peace, 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 Bamboo. How are you? Did you want to send a request? You want to come in? You want to come into the live? I'm talking about light and darkness. I don't know how long you've been on here. I'm talking about being a light being and a dark being. But I welcome you to come in if you want to come in. It's I'm just talking about my reality of having a duality, being a being in which I am a light being that can function in the darkness. I'm a dark being that can function in the light. And that doesn't mean it only means something negative and something dangerous when I'm not functioning the truth of who I am. Cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna see if I can get you in. I've never hold up. Oh, yep, wait, yep, there we go. All right, I just try to pull you in, so let's see how this go. I haven't done this before. This is my first time. Hey, I like it. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. You coming in? But it's all love. Just functioning the truth of who I am in the light. And this social media shit makes it hard, especially when you're like doing it in the strength of what happened? When you're doing it on the strength of I'll try to bring you back in. Hold up. When you're doing it on the strength of like this is my livelihood. This is who I am. But also, you know, I have to show myself to the world, and it ain't always hard. I don't know how to bring you back in now. You'll have to request me again or something. But this is the truth of who I am. And this is the truth of who a lot of people are. Like, I have a lot of dark friends that are acting like light beings. I don't know if you heard that. And I have a lot of, so I didn't talk about this piece. There's another piece. So I know a lot of light beings that light beings are the one that's always floating in the cloud. Everything's all good, all love, right? But when darkness hit, it's like, oh my God, like I didn't know, right? So it's a lot of light beings that's like really floating, always in the clouds, and don't recognize that there's darkness until there's darkness. Until you hear it, until they're the ones to be super, dramatically pulled in by the media and all this stuff that's going on, with us, and within, society. But so the issue is that the light beings are functioning cluelessly in the dark. So the dark beings are acting like light beings, and the light beings are functioning cluelessly in the dark. All because society has us thinking that we're all supposed to be light beings, which is causing mental illness for dark beings. Like, that's simple. It's that simple. Because, the truth of it is we ain't all come here to be light. We ain't all come here to be dark. And I was talking about this in the platform of, to a couple friends and also my partner, talking about what that looks like in relationships. So when people say opposites attract, it's not always feminine, masculine, feminine energy, so forth. No matter what their presenting bodies look like. And then it's not always negative and positive. But it's darkness and light. It's energy. When you think about energy, it's energy. What happens when a dark being is with a dark being? It's a pretty dark relationship, right? When a light being is with a light being, they're just always floaty and they're not functioning in reality, right? So when a light being and a dark being are together, there's balance, especially when they're functioning their true self. When they're each functioning their true parts and places in the world, when the darkness is empowered by their darkness and functioning in the love of that darkness, and when the light being is functioning in the love of that light being and acceptance of darkness, then there's a true balance and there's a place of peace and there's a power in that. And see, that's what society has torn us, has done to tear us apart. Because culturally, we understood that. It's in our DNA. It's in our blood. We understand that support and that balance and that polarity. But part of the reason why our families were torn up is because we understood that. So what happens when you take that understanding out of our families, and out of our family concepts, and out of our neighborhoods, and out of our communities, and out of our villages, then we just function in all kind of dysfunctionally. Don't even know who we are. We don't have the ritual practice to understand. I'm throwing my beats around. We don't even have a ritual practice to bring babies into the world under the understanding of who they are. We 30 years old, just realizing the lights is off. Like, it's all kind of dysfunction. But now it's the time. It's a time. Like, we ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice. Mainly because If you in my circle, I'm not gonna let you function like that for too long. It's not healthy for any of us. It's not love for somebody not to be able to live in their true light. Yes, 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 yes. It's all right. My son as well. He's had he has a beautiful community around him. He has a beautiful community around him. My son is arguing. He's a dreamer. So um, he is powerful. And protection all around him, all around. Just send protection and love every time you think about us. That's all. That's what we need to do energetically. Anytime you think it's okay if we don't speak to each other in a year, 2 years, however long it be, months. If you think about me and I'm thinking about you, send that love and light. That's how we stay connected. Through this times of which and we're separated by borders and all this other stuff. So, but if you want to talk to me a little bit more about how, if you recognize that you're a dark being and you want to function, learn how to function, blessings. If you want to learn how to function and be empowered by your darkness, link me. If you want to, if you are a light being and you want to learn how to have a compassionate, supportive stance for dark beings, link me. My link is in my bio, Comedic Arts 24. You can email me. Everything you find me, you can Google me, find me, Comedic Arts 24, KEMETIC 24. You found me here, so you can find me. I also have some sessions coming up. I have 2 sessions, online sessions, virtual sessions in June coming up. About one is, now I gotta switch gears. Hold up, let me think. The first one is, what's in your meal plan? And this stuff might look like a certain way, but it's my protective measures too. So I have a lot of stuff that we're gonna be talking about when I'm talking. I'm not just talking about I'm not just talking about meal plans and food. I'm talking about this real light energy that we put into our bodies. I'm talking about how to align it and empower it day by day. Using certain foods to wake up certain organs, to wake up certain energies in your body, to align you with your path. So we'll be talking about that. And that first session is June 3rd through the 10th. You can sign up for it. You can DM me. You can email me. You can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/comedicarts24, and you can sign up for that under the Het Haru package. My second session will be June. We'll be doing the solstice, the 21st through the 27th. And it's called Summer Solstice Soul, as in your soul, light body. And we'll be really going into this light dark thing. We'll also be doing a raw food and juicing cleanse for 7 days, 3 days juicing, 4 days juicing and live foods. And then we'll get into, I have yoga sequences for you. I'll have guided meditation. And those will be those 2 sessions for June. You can also contact me for spiritual consults. I did a reading today, and my first card was death, and I was happy because I know that I'm moving out of this skin, out of that old skin. Like I said, I'm a dark and light being, and I'm grateful to finally be. I feel like the way is opening to dark beings can now be accepted. And it's been a long road for that, and through this awakening, I'm grateful that has finally happened. That people are talking about things like mental health and mental illness, and people are talking about behavior patterns and generational conversations, the hard conversations that we need to have. Now we need to really start talking about functioning. How do we function in this light and dark? So I'll be moving forward on those things. Link me, connect me. Now the bees want my food. I need to eat. So love and light, connect me. Be love, live truth. Peace.